We're live and it's Thursday.
Yes, it is Thursday.
Good gracious.
Good day to be alive.
Great day to be alive. Great day to be alive. I am grateful.
Fully dressed.
You went dark.
And I don't have on my bracelets. I need to go get them. I need to share the show first. I was thinking this morning. We live? Yeah, we live. Think about, I'm 54. My wife is as well. Think about the shows, the TV shows that shaped us. How many of us have personalities, or at least parts of our personalities,
that were
shaped by the Brady Bunch, or Happy Days, or Little House on the Prairie? How many of us grew up wanting to be the Fonz?
As much as now that I know Michael Landon's whole story, I'm still very drawn to the Little House on the Prairie.
Yeah, and I didn't like that show at all. But I had 3 younger sisters and a mom in the house.
Yeah.
And it was going to be on TV.
Yeah.
We only had one TV.
The Cosby Show. Yeah, absolutely.
The Cosby Show. How they shaped us.
Yeah.
And even movies. There's certain movies that we grew up on that influence how we see the world.
Yeah. We're going to talk about it. I think that there is a worthy discussion because some of the things that are trapped in our belief system are there because of something that we saw.
What's the one? How many of you? Go ahead and do the commercial first. We'll get back to it.
Yeah, no, you can start the conversation and come back to it.
Okay. If I say now the world don't move to the beat of just one drum, what might be right for you may not be right for some. How many of you guys can finish that?
Most of us can. At least I know I can. But we're going to talk about those TV shows, those movies, if they impacted you, how they impacted you, and what can you do if their impact is not aligned with your current belief system? How do you manage that impact? We'll be right back.
Good morning. My name is Brian McNeill.
And I am Lisa Santiago McNeill.
And thank you for joining us on our show, Let's Talk About It. We come to each Monday through Friday right here on the SIBN network, on iHeartRadio, YouTube, TuneIn, as well as Facebook Live. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Like. Good morning. Good morning. Today's topic is for Thoughtful Thursday is what or how did movies and TV shows shape your life? Or did they? Or should they? Or do you wish they didn't? And what was your favorite? Those thoughts going through our minds this morning. Couture, my favorite show was The Cosby Show and Different World. Everybody wanted to be Denise. And The Cosby Show represented the first Black family of success that that brought our whole family together, because likely there was only one television in the house at the time when we were watching The Cosby Show in a Different World. 8:00 became the new family time. Everybody came together, and then they brought in A Different World. So we had to assemble together and watch this and learn from it. Some of us even got family discussions from that.
I think you're right. And even before, how many of us, only representation of us or Black people in general was Good Times.
Right.
In the projects.
Mm-hmm.
And every week they had a horrific situation.
Every week something was they were getting ready to get put out, lights was going to be cut off, somebody was going to be
shot or drugged.
Absolutely. And so how much of that actually shaped and impact our thinking, our mindset about things? I'm glad you're feeling awesome. Good morning,
the
Couture.
super bookman was
Booger.
Yeah, his name was Bookman, but they called him Booger. Was somewhat successful with picked on because he had a job, maintenance man at the building.
Yeah, his job was a prestigious position because everybody needed a maintenance man. Hey, Mia. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Miss Mia Frazier. How are you?
Thank you for joining.
We're talking about the TV shows and movies that shaped us. You know, and I was born in 67.
Right.
Okay? And when I grew up in the 70s, when I really got introduced to this medium called television daily, watching TV daily, okay? The cartoons that made us, you know, Bugs Bunny, Tom and Jerry.
Tom and Jerry.
Very, very brutal when we look at it through the prism of today.
Right.
Smashing a sledgehammer over someone's head, okay? And they're fine. Okay, those kinds of things. Popeye was me. I hurt my hand real bad one time because I ate some spinach at the table because Popeye ate spinach and was able to knock down buildings. So I ate some spinach and punched the wall.
Oh my goodness.
And hurt myself.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
That's probably 6-year-old Brian.
Good gracious.
But Happy Days, Laverne and Shirley. I remember the one episode on Happy Days where they had a black guy. His name was Sticks. And he played the drums. And they was going to have a party. And none of the white kids was going to come to the party.
Wow.
And Fonz made them all come to the party. Told them that they had to come. But they still didn't show. And the show was on Prejudice. I remember that one episode. Wow. That was the only black guy that was on Happy Days.
Wow. Mia, I think that's awesome. She says that's how she learned English. She learned English watching television shows. And I've actually heard that a lot. Growing up in New York, we had Telemundo. And a lot of times that was
Univision.
That's right. And I think there still is Telemundo. But I had learned, a few of my friends parents had learned how to speak English from watching television. And I thought, well, maybe if I watch Telemundo, the novelas would help. Watching the novelas, the stories, the Spanish stories would help. And it
Dr.
did.
Beverly says, Dawn Lewis was my girl. You know, what was her name, her character name? In a Different World. And I also loved Living Single. Maxine Shaw, attorney at law, was my girl. yes. Those shows, you know, how many men had crushes on Lisa Bonet at the time, you know, and Maxine Shaw, attorney at law, and those kinds of things.
And I wonder how it shaped someone's impact. Yes, it is a walk down the memory lane today. Yes, that's exactly what we're doing. Now, some of those things bring back fond memories, right? But there are some subliminal memories, I think, that caught a hold to some of us that maybe did not work for us as much as they worked against us.
Big time. Especially shows like Good Time. You know, that was as much as you can aspire to. You know, those things shaped us. Dr. Lewis, I also laughed at I Love Lucy. That was my mother's favorite show. I Love Lucy, even that. I Love Lucy, The Honeymooners. I like those shows too. But they depicted the woman had to be at home. Okay, she was at home.
Yeah.
I took some pictures offline of instances, and I showed my wife when Ricky Ricardo gave Lucy a spanking on TV.
She couldn't do that today.
She was misbehaving.
Even though she was laughing, even though it was playfully done.
He spanked her to punish her on TV a couple of times and in different episodes. And I took pictures of it and showed it to my wife. Look, this was able to be shown on television. Lucy, and he grabbed her and pulled her across his lap and gave her a spanking, and she whined and then let her up. And I told you that was acceptable television back then. So your husband can spank your wife.
Don't let this move take through you.
I know how to spank my wife, okay? And it ain't like Ricky did.
But yes, I love Lucy. I love the ingenuity and the creativity of her in each episode.
Yes.
I think I focused more on how impactful she was as the main character in it. Yes, everybody.
I can't get that out of my head. I was thinking about that all morning, Dr. Deborah. Remember the episode on Good Times when Penny, like Janet Jackson, was burned with the iron by her mother.
Yeah, by Chip Fields. Well,
That's right.
Chip Fields was playing the mother in the movie.
Chip Fields is Kim Fields' mom.
It's Kim Fields' mom.
Who's what's her character on A Different World?
Tootie.
No. That was Miss Garrett. Tootie was Facts of Life. And
Facts of Life.
Right, Tootie. But on a different world, she played another character. Regine.
Tootie wasn't.
Yes, she was. Yes, she was.
That was Living Single. She was
Living
Regine.
Single. Okay, that's right. Ooh. That cold air just blew through here.
Yeah, you like the cold air.
Yeah,
I hope put ice
that
on
window is
you.
open. That's why.
Yes, it's open. You open it every day.
Okay, would you like me to close it, sweetheart?
You don't want it closed.
So I can't even ask the question. I said,
No.
would you like for me to close that window, sweetheart? Those are the exact words that I chose to say. There was nothing added or taken away from that sentence.
Nope.
And then you go do all this. Oh, y'all saw.
You open it every single day. I have learned to endure the Arctic temperatures in here.
Me and Frazier says that's why my dad used to tell me that my duty was to get married and take care of my husband and children, but that was the time period. Yeah.
I think it was the time period, but I think also while the time period shaped the television, I think the television also shaped the time period.
Well, and that's another thing we need to talk about because it was relatively few people deciding what was on TV. Mr. George Allen, aka Chef Rev, goes, "What in the world?" I tune in and Brian is talking about spanking his wife.
Good morning, Stephanie.
We're actually talking about the TV shows
and the movies
that made us. How much of Coming to America is now in vernacular?
Yes, absolutely.
It's just part of our language.
I still can't believe it's 20 years ago.
Yeah.
But
it made us.
I know. It was so influential.
If I do like this, hey, how many of you guys all know what that is? How many of you guys had the black leather jacket and white t-shirt to school?
I had it.
I
still had it. I think I only got rid of it 7 years ago. I got another leather jacket and white t-shirt.
Here's the story of a man named Brady.
Who is bringing up of a lovely lady.
Of a lovely lady.
Yes.
Come on.
Who is bringing up 3 very lovely girls.
These songs, okay, that you have in your head.
Laverne and Shirley.
You take
Shamil. Shamazo.
I don't even know what that
means.
Who the
heck knows what that means?
I don't. But I know it was part of the show. You take the good, you take the bad, you take them both, and there you have
the facts of life.
Those things shape us, man. They're in our heads. And it's relatively a small group of people decided what we got to see
at that time, right? Yeah. Which makes us in such an innovative era, because other people can bring their truth to the world.
Or their perception of the
their
truth.
Perception, right?
Three's Company, come
absolutely on. Come and knock on our door.
Take
a step that is new.
Yeah. Jack living with those 2 ladies, not hitting either one of them. Okay, and occasionally they let them touch their butt. Okay, but that's it. That was the show premise. I was an Odd Couple guy. I like Oscar and Felix.
That was back further, I think, a generation before us.
I'm older than some of these folks here. But if you're going through the 70s and the 80s even, these TV shows shape us.
They shaped what we thought was possible.
And like Lisa was alluding to, some of that served us and some of it did not.
Mm-hmm. I actually think part of the Cosby, I'm going to call it the Cosby conspiracy, but y'all can correct it. And
the conspiracy?
Is to take a whole chunk of our history out. It's offline. It's not in the
Cosby Show?
Yeah.
You can watch it on YouTube.
I try. They cut it up into bits and pieces.
Not full episode.
You can't even watch what, for some of us, influenced our decision to become doctors, our decision to become lawyers, our decisions to still have a career if you had a family, our decisions that there were African-American people who were affluent. Our belief system was structured. Women could be in charge and prominent and successful.
And mothers and still attractive.
Still attractive.
Yes. Hong Kong Phooey.
Number 1 super guy. Hong Kong Phooey.
Quicker than the human eye. He's got style, a groovy style, a style that just won't stop. When the going gets rough, he's super tough with the Hong Kong Phooey chop. Come on, man.
Even the cartoons were different. Everything was different about the television. That's My Mama was another one with
Raj and
I'ma tell Mama.
D and Raj and Rerun, and come on, man, remember these names and these shows.
Absolutely. You know? Now some of these references are gonna lose some of you. If you're not of a certain age, you're gonna miss some of these references. If you're also not African American and have some of these, well, actually, you know what? Some of the movies and TVs crossed over cultures because they were all that was.
Cosby Conspiracy is correct. Cosby did get so much for promoting education for children.
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
And they took it.
Mm-hmm. Cosby Show, Bill Cosby, his history is amazing. He influenced so many professional comedians and singers and performers. He was one of the first few black people on television called I Spy, and his TV show I Spy. Him and I can't remember the other name character. But you know, he did have that thing.
Please understand, I'm not excusing what he did.
Neither am I.
But and I'm trying to be very delicate with the perspective of it. But I don't think that those things should have taken away all of the influence that he has
made. We talked about that. R. Kelly, can you listen to R. Kelly? His music is still amazing music. We can't condone any of his stuff, but
the word of God says the gifts of God are without repentance.
Without repentance. They're still gifts. She brought up one that's so sore to my soul, but Fat Albert. Hey, it's Fat Albert. Look at the characters on Fat Albert. I watched Fat Albert every time it was on. I even watched the movie when Keenan played Fat Albert.
There you go. Thank you, Mia, for chiming in. Mia says, I used to watch Cosby Show. I love it. I love
but
that.
But Fat Albert was so stereotypical. I mean, they had the kid, they had one kid with a skull cap all over his face. Come on, man.
The thing about stereotypes is they have some truth in them.
Yes, but dang.
And you might not want to perpetuate them, but then stop doing it. Dr. Deborah says Lean on Me was the 80s, but I love that movie. Morgan Freeman as a strong
Joe Carter.
Black teacher. Absolutely.
They used to call me Crazy Joe. Now they can call me Batman. Because he carried a bat around with him.
Good morning, Belinda. We missed you too. You had a procedure done on your right leg.
Whoa.
Well, I hope that you are healing well and comfortably.
And get some rest.
And absolutely. And we're looking forward to keeping you up in prayer.
Isn't it amazing how many things get cured with rest? Colds, pneumonia, sprained ankles, get you some rest.
Yeah, Fat Albert was very much a stereotype. It very much was. It was
over the top.
It was.
Oh my God. Hey. Oh, come on, man.
Stephanie says, I'm going to watch a few episodes as an adult to see what messages are in Fat Albert. There was a lot of...
I promise you're going to find messages you didn't see back then, but go ahead.
Yeah, there was a lot of... I think Fat Albert actually showed a lot about community. It showed a lot about sticking up for one another. There was a lot of bully messages in there.
And they had their gang. They had their crew that they was always with.
The positive association with a crew. Belinda, yes, she said, I love Lean on Me and Fat Albert. Absolutely.
Those are movies and TV shows that shape us.
Yeah, that shaped us. So what are some of the movies and TV shows that
you can't get away
you?
That shifted the whole earth in the summer of 1977. 12 days, episodes of Roots. Roots showed on television nightly. For 12 days, and we all watched Roots. Everybody watched Roots, except for Lisa. You didn't watch it?
I think I watched it. I think I watched it because we had to watch it.
You couldn't.
My grandmother.
It shifted the whole world.
Required that we all watch it.
Everybody that had a job every day, next day they wanted to talk about it. Had to be careful talking about it around their black folks. Okay.
Couture says the world has a habit of loving you today and hating you tomorrow, and I don't get with that. Yeah, I don't get with that cancel culture either. That cancel culture is harsh, baby. It is harsh. Stephanie said,
I don't know what the Janet Jackson reveal is tomorrow. I have no idea what that is, so I'm probably not going to watch it. Go watch it because I already know what it is.
Partridge Story.
The Partridge Family. Come on.
It is one. I used to watch that one too. I
think
didn't
I love
love that one.
Yeah, but you watched it.
Yeah, because you only had 4 channels. You couldn't choose. I didn't really love that one, but it came on after something that I had.
Happy Day or one of those shows. But think about it came on after the Brady Bunch. The
Brady
Bunch of the Partridge
and
Family.
I love the Brady Bunch.
But think about that.
Even though they didn't have no black people in it.
Even if we didn't like any of the shows, if we wanted to watch television, we had to pick which show that we disliked the least.
The least.
Yeah. Okay.
What is the Janet Jackson reveal? And you said it's on tomorrow. What is she revealing? Is she revealing
that we haven't seen?
Right. Because we've seen all of Janet. Even some parts of Janet that we didn't want to see. But I love Janet Jackson.
I do too. But man, I still think of her as Penny. I still see her in Rhythm Nation. I mean, come on. The TV shows and the movies that shaped us. You know, yesterday I was looking at our television. We have a smart television. A lot of us have smart television. When we hit the power button on the remote, okay, you don't get TV right away. You get apps. You get a menu of apps. Mm-hmm. Okay. And you have to pick which app, whether you want to go into Hulu or Netflix or Peacock or Vulu or Prime.
Good morning, Bill.
You got to pick which app you want to start with.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you go to the app, then you got to pick where you want to watch. When you want to watch something live or something recorded, genres and all that. We have thousands of shows to pick
Millions,
from.
I want to
So we can't even count them all. So we grew up picking what we like the least, and now we're spending exorbitant amounts of time trying to figure out of all the options we got, what do we want to choose?
Mm-hmm. Jacqueline says, telling my age, black and white, cowboy and detective stories, and the news. Help me, Lord. Was glad to see color. First time my parents took us to the movies was to see Lilies of the Field with Sidney Poitier. Wow. Absolutely. I remember going to see a lot of Disney movies. We lived in New York. My grandmother would take us to Radio City Music Hall with a bag lunch. She would take us with a bag lunch. I remember seeing Magic Mountain. And she had packed fried chicken, potato salad, and collard greens. And I sat there the whole time thinking, we're going to get thrown out.
How do you bring potato salad into the movie?
You know how you do it? You find the security guard as soon as you walk in and you give him a plate. And then you can feed everybody else. And he ain't going to say nothing.
That's the move. That would work.
She used to bring it all.
My favorite cartoon was the Flintstones. Yabba Dabba Doo. What y'all know about Yabba Dabba Doo? What you know about Barney and Betty and Wilma?
Yes. Flintstones. Meet the Flintstones. Have a Yabba Dabba Doo.
I used to love the Flintstones. I used to love the Honeymoons. I thought they were like real and cartoon versions of each other, okay? But, I mean, how many times did Ralph threaten to punch his wife in the mouth? Okay.
Stephanie, she would bring a Tupperware with the collard greens, a Tupperware with the potato salad, and a bucket, just like Kentucky Fried Chicken, a big Tupperware with the chicken in it. Fried chicken, she would always fry legs. And then
because that's easily portable, yeah.
And then she would pack paper plates in there, and she would go ahead and make his plate. As soon as we walk in, she would hand it to him like this. Go ahead, baby. Here you go. He would take it.
Here you go. It's going to make it work.
And that was it. Then we all sat in a row and we had our plates of food. And you bet not look like you wanted some popcorn or some candy or nothing else because you was getting what you got.
That's fine. But still, she was smart enough to know that this is how we do it. This is how we do it. The Jetsons, we have so much of what we had in the Jetsons. We got the watch phone. I mean, the watch video. We got the screen.
We got
FaceTime.
Yes. What we don't have yet, I guess we do with the filters. I was going to say what we don't have yet is how Jane used to have a mask.
Yeah.
She could put on her face when she had to answer the face phone without her makeup that morning, when she was just still crazy. So now we can still do that with the filters.
We don't have the meals in the pill form.
Yeah, we do. We got them very close to MREs.
Meals ready to eat.
That's right.
Janet Jackson documentary of her life on Lifetime. I'm going to miss it, okay? I'll let y'all talk about it. So
why are you going to miss it?
I like Janet, but I'm not going to sit there for 4 hours watching her.
You watch Bobby Brown?
I did, but I was in the mood for that. So the Bobby Brown documentary, I did watch that.
You watched a couple of them.
I did, and I enjoyed it. I watched the New Edition documentary. So maybe they got to frame it right. And maybe not have it on Lifetime.
Mia loved the Jetsons also. I'm telling you, the Jetsons. I Dream of Jeannie.
I Dream of Jeannie. It. How many of us wanted a genie like that?
Now you got one.
I got a genie where I could just tell her to do stuff and she'll blink and make it happen.
I make it happen.
Wow, I didn't know.
I make it happen.
You kind of got the I Dream of Jeannie look going on today.
Oh gosh, that's right. George says, "What my folks would take us to the drive-in movies. My mom would have home-cooked popcorn and pops for everyone. How about that?" Dr. Deborah,
where are you? Come on.
Dr. Deborah says, did anyone ever go to the drive-in movie? My parents had 4 children and I was cheaper than the movies. So there were no drive-in movies in New York. So when I came here and found drive-in movies, I would go at least once a month with a carload of kids.
Now think about, y'all can name all these great shows. Scooby-Doo, Bewitched, I Dream of Jeannie, Little House on the Prairie, all those. Think how they shaped who you are today, how they shaped your personality.
I like to be Bewitched.
How do we learn how we suppose what's good and bad? We get it from Brady Bunch, and Greg. You remember the Marsha? Did one of them smoke a cigarette or something?
I don't know.
Okay.
Bewitched, loved Samantha, absolutely. Samantha and Darren. I loved when they changed Darren's. Like, you just changed the husband. We could do that now. Like, you could get another husband and give him the same name as the other husband and just go on with your life. Yeah,
they have to explain nothing.
You don't even talk about it in the show. Like, he didn't get taller, he didn't get fatter, he didn't get anything. That was it. Still love Mr.
Rogers' Neighborhood shaped us.
Every single one of us.
Sesame Street shaped us.
I love
the Electric Company shaped us. Hey, you guys. Okay.
That was my first meeting with Morgan Freeman was in Electric Company.
Of course, Easy Reader.
Easy Reader. And his daughter was in my
Remember the Mr. Rogers episode when he had the black mailman come over just to sit? And what he did was, you can't get away with it today. He had a black guy on his show, and what they did, they had a little wading pool in his backyard with a couple of chairs, and he put water in so that they could be cool, put their feet in the water together, and just have a chat. I ain't doing that with my homeboys today, but they did that on that show.
You could.
I could not.
Why not?
What friend of mine could I have? Oh, hey, man, take your shoes and socks off and put your feet in this water next to mine. And let's just sit here and talk.
You do it with a cigar instead of a bucket of water.
I'm not going to put my feet in the water having a cigar.
I said instead of a bucket of water, you do it with a cigar. You have a friend over, y'all sit and talk. He could be a big old white guy.
He could.
Yeah.
We could do that with a cigar.
Absolutely. So it's just different.
The Jeffersons. How many of us were shaped by All in the Family?
Car Wash, Buck the Preacher, and Shaft.
What's that? No, was that All in the Family? Which is Archie Bunker's show?
All in the Family.
Archie Bunker's show, All in the Family, exposed racism to the America.
Norman Lear.
In a funny way. He was very racist.
Yeah.
And he talked about it every show.
Yeah.
You know, he didn't like black people, he didn't like gays, he didn't like Oriental people, Asian people. Oriental is a slur. But he didn't like any of that stuff. He was very racist, and it was on television. Their highest rated show was when George Jefferson kissed him on the cheek. Okay. And how he flipped out on that.
Jacqueline and Jacqueline says, still telling my age, I'm a bit of a nerd, sexy but nerdy. Loved cooking shows, loved Julia Childs,
Which way is up? Car Wash.
PBS, let me tell you, that Bob Ross, me and him, we hung out. We still hang out from time to time.
My man George, I'm a big fan of blaxploitation era. Okay, the early 70s. Which way is up? Car Wash, Buck and the Preacher, Shaft, that blaxploitation era. Okay, exploiting black people, not very good positive images, but I still like those movies. Three the Hard Way, Sheba Baby, Coffee, all those movies, I like them all.
No, none of them.
Man, please, I like them all.
And please don't subject me to them. Brian, Bill says, Brian, I was just thinking about this the other day. How much of the music I grew up with has had an influence on my beliefs. Actually, that's exactly what we started talking about. Like, how have you been shaped by what you watched and listened to?
Stephanie hated the Archie Bunker show. I think if you were a black person, you did hate it, but you still watched it.
Because it was the only thing on. And you were grateful that at least Norman Lear was going to do his best, I think, for the time, to also show black people in a positive light.
Yeah, and he did, even though it was a very racist show, he didn't make it like Archie Bunker was smart. He was dumb in his racism. Yeah,
exactly.
Belinda says, your genie's going to get you. Okay. And William Brown said, in college, I did my internship at WQED with Mr. Rogers. How about that?
That is so beautiful.
How about that? Getting to know the guy. You know, the movie that they have out now, I haven't seen it, but I've read the reviews of the movie. And they say the movie that's about Mr. Rogers now is not about Mr. Rogers. It's about his assistant that was around him most of the time. Okay. So, but his story, I'm a salesman and I read about history of great sales made. And Mr. Rogers' story is one of the great sales speeches. You know, how he had to sell Congress on funding his show, funding education for children. He did an amazing, and it's on YouTube, his speech to Congress.
It's a beautiful speech.
Yes.
And it's delivered in Mr. Rogers style. Like, he was still himself.
Now, this is a sales talk, but it's an amazing sales talk to get our government to fund educational television for children.
Absolutely. It actually reminds me now of some of the things that could benefit our nonprofits, because talking about the problem is often what is done, but showing the solution and how you are the solution of it is really the way that he changed that room.
Changed the world, really. Stephanie Mars says, Stephanie, I love that purple elephant. Snuffleupagus.
He's not an elephant.
What is he? He's the closest. He had a trunk and everything like an elephant.
Yeah.
Snuffleupagus.
Snuffleupagus was he's not an elephant. He's not an elephant.
I mean, but now, you know, we look at those now. Snuffleupagus. Archie, the Grouch. What was his name? The Grouch? You're a grouch. I live in a trash can. You know, Big Bird. Come on, man.
Oscar the Grouch was green.
Yes.
Snuffleupagus was purple.
That's right.
Big Bird was yellow. And Elmo is red.
Yep, the word.
Elmo.
You know, B thing. And they put them together. They had the beginning of the word, the end of the word. But that was pretty cool for me. I remember one time they talked about on Sesame Street, they showed the clean street, and then they showed somebody come by and just throw one piece of paper down. It's like, it's just one piece of paper. And someone else throws one thing down. It's just one piece of paper. And somebody else and somebody else. And then they showed the street look filthy. Just all from these one. That taught me not to be a litter bug.
Don't litter. Absolutely. I'm telling you. There
These
was
shows
so many things
shape us.
Love
Schoolhouse Rock.
Saturday morning.
I'm just a bill. Yes, I'm only a bill. And I'm sitting here on Capitol Hill. And conjunction, junction, and button or will get you pretty far. Come on, man. We grew up, and the kids today don't have that.
You're right. You're talking about is the Grimace purple from McDonald's?
No, that's McDonald's. See, look at that.
Snuffleupagus was brown, but in some of the children's books they have him as purple, and he's not orange.
Hi, bird.
I have Snuffleupagus eyelashes. I have a couple of eyelashes that I use that I call my son Snuffleupaguses.
Oh my god!
And if anybody ever watches Just with the Best, she has Snuffleupagus eyelashes too.
Just with the Best.
Just with the Best.
Jess Hilarious, that girl?
Yes.
Okay, yes. Jess Hilarious or Just with the Best. Yeah, I think she's funny too. There's a few of them I think are funny. That better not be the city coming to pick up stuff now.
When are they supposed to go?
Tomorrow.
I hope you didn't miss it.
Okay. I had to break down our
the gazebo.
The weather battered it, and so I broke it all apart, and I got to take it out to the street for them to pick it up. Okay.
Thank you for your Snuffleupagus tidbits. She says snuffleupaguses are covered with brown fur. The younger snuffleupagus fur is usually lighter in color. A snuffleupagus also has long eyelashes to protect its large eyes. She Googled it. Here you go. Looked it up. Oh, so this is to Jacqueline. Snuffleupaguses are funny, pachyderm-like mammals native to the world of Sesame Street.
Yes.
Snuffleupagus, now he has a family on Sesame Street. He didn't have family back then. Mia said, I was telling my daughter about that Schoolhouse Rock. Our children missed the best time of television era. Now they have shows with cheating, lying, and violence. Yes. Now because pretty much anyone can create.
She loved the way the word rolls off her lips.
Snuffleupagus. The tip of the teeth, the lips.
These
the tongue.
shows shaped us. That's what I want to get to today. And for the good or bad, it's almost sad to me, but it's very impressive to me how a very small group of people can dictate the thinking
of everybody,
of a nation.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that because of some of the advent of so much accessibility to create content, we have a responsibility. If a message has been gifted to you to share with the world, it is necessary for you to take that particular message and share it.
Today, even though we got thousands of shows to watch on television, we don't watch television. We don't watch that anymore, and neither do you. You watch what you want to watch. You watch Reels, you watch YouTube, where you pick. You watch whatever you want now.
You select your content, and sometimes,
which means you get to shape whatever. You watch the shows that are in line with the way you feel.
Actually, I worry now. Sometimes I consider, when my grandson is over, right? So it's not like back in the day where you would allow your grandchild or your child a certain amount of television. You would pick the show or the station, like Cartoon Network, right, or whatever, where you knew you could choose essentially what they were being exposed to. And now it's so much different.
And even Cartoon Network has changed, even when I had little kids around, because I remember one time I was either watching one of my nieces or nephews or something, and they were at my place, but I put on like Cartoon Channel or Disney Channel or something like that. I thought it'd be fine. I walked through the room, and all the characters are digging up each other's noses. Okay, there's little kids digging up on this bigger kid, and they're digging up the other bigger. And they all got in a row digging up each other's noses. Like, what the heck? I don't want my kids seeing that. Ugh, get out of here.
Stephanie said now all TV is about shock value.
And my life is all YouTube, right?
All
exactly.
YouTube.
Not just you.
Yes, Brother Mark. He says, I look back on these shows and see some peculiar subliminal messages. George Jefferson was a successful businessman, yet he sought the approval of Mr. Whitendale.
Yep.
No matter how much they tried, the Evans family remained in the ghetto.
Yep.
Fred Sanford was a business owner in Watts. The message, no matter how successful you think you are, you still seek the validation of someone, no matter how diligently you strive. The ghetto is where you will be.
Yes.
And although you own a business, it's a junkyard in a
post riot environment. After the Watts riots, come on, this is my empire. One day, all this it will be yours. The Sanford and Son, I love Sanford and Son. However, it's not the good message. If you look at what the message is, he didn't want Lamont to get married and leave. He would do all he could to keep Lamont there. Okay, why?
Yeah.
How selfish is that? And their good times with Sanford and Son includes him, Leroy and Skillet and Grady and Bubba drinking a bottle of Ripple. That's their good time. Okay, that's what a good time constituted for them. Okay, come on, man.
Bill says, I believe one of the biggest challenges is how we process all the information that we have available to us. Back in the day, we had a few choices and dealt with it. Now there's so much. I know. Stephanie says Jefferson had the interracial couple. That's
and
right.
They were constantly teased about that.
The zebras.
Yes, George Jefferson teased them
Jenny
constantly about that. You know, honky. Come on, man. I didn't even know what a honky was until George Jefferson taught me.
That's because you're from New York.
I know what a honky is now.
I know that's because we're from New York. We didn't really have that.
Well, we did have honky originated out of New York. Okay.
Really? I didn't never hear the word.
Here's what honky means. Okay. When the white man went to the ghetto to pick up black prostitutes, they didn't want to get out of the car. So what they would do is they just go into the hood and honk their horns until someone came up to the car and got them what they want. And that's how the term honky became. White guys coming into the ghetto to get their drugs or prostitutes, but didn't want to get out of the car. So they called them honkies.
I never knew that.
I'm teaching you.
I know. I don't know that I want to wash that out of my head.
Honky.
Oh,
there's more words like that too. I can give you some more.
No, I don't even need that one anymore. Yeah.
Honky, honky, honky.
I said stop.
I'm gonna let it go. But it's a fun word to say.
No, it's not. Not with the definition.
I've had the definition forever. And I still
in your head. Now you just transplanted it into mine.
And whomever else heard it.
Well, yes. Right, Belinda? Right, Stephanie? Good gracious. I did not need to know that. But anyway.
Look up the word mother effer.
No, don't.
Look up that.
Don't do
I can tell you the history of the word if you want to know. Okay. Stephanie appreciates the lesson. Yeah, not hearing it doesn't make it not so. Okay. But these are things that shaped us, you know, as a people, they shaped us.
Yes. Belinda said, tell me. She wants to know where Mother Truckers came from.
You really want to know? Okay.
Victoria once says good information.
Yeah.
Brother Mark says Roots had a huge effect as it brought some things talked about in the shadows to the world.
How many of us seen the scene? Today, you're going to learn your name. Kunta. Your name is Toby. Kunta Kinte. Till he was within an inch of his life. Okay, come on.
Riddle me this. Currently, we fight over what we believe, but don't point to the root, our media and entertainment. Woo-hoo.
Yeah, that's the root. Dr. Deborah said that was interesting. I always thought that it was a Southern word.
Me too.
You could think that, okay? Well, you could think that it's probably a true word to any ghetto, okay? Because that's what he went to, but it came out of the city. But there's more I could think of that I could talk about, but that'll take the whole show on a different arc, okay? Dr. Tibbs, that was okay. Cool, we got that already. But yeah, you know, I'm happy to talk to you about it offline, Belinda or Dr. Deborah, some of these other words. Maybe I'll do a talk.
Belinda said, I'm waiting, Mr. B.
Mother effer?
Yeah.
It came from slavery. When the master would take the women, okay, and they didn't have to face the master, and then would talk about the master behind his back, okay, that mother effer, okay, he did that to their mothers. That's what it was. They knew what he was doing to their mothers, and they despised it. Okay, so the way they would talk about him, that mother, because that's what he did, because that's what the master did.
Brother Mark says, man, I beat up a kid because he called me Toby back in the day, of course.
Of course.
Stephanie says, yes, that scene stays with me, beating his culture, his identity, and his name from him. That's exactly what happened in that scene.
Mm-hmm.
That is exactly what happened. But how much of what we believe now, or what we think we believe, or how much of our truth was actually because of what was fed to us, and we began to accept.
That's the point. We got it fed to us. These messages were fed to us constantly till it became a part of who we are. But today, hallelujah, like Stephanie Marr says, YouTube aholic. Basically, she's YouTube right now. We get to choose. I study a lot on YouTube. I mean, The Color Purple. Come on, man. Mister. I saw The Color Purple a grand total of one time. That's all I needed to see it. I couldn't handle it more than once. I got sisters. I got a wife. I got cousins that have seen it 20, 30, 40 times.
And read the book.
and read the book. Okay. I read the book actually. Oh, no. I think I read the first third of the book. And I think I stopped it after that. I can't handle brutality like that, even though I know that's not the point of the movie. I don't want to see it. You know, I can't handle it. Beating on a woman or raping of a woman, I can't.
You know, and I respect that. I respect that as your truth. But I don't think people understand some of the importance of sharing those horror stories in order to share the testimony. Like you can't.
What? Is this the same woman that couldn't stand hump?
Yeah, no, I can't because it's not. It doesn't relate to me. I don't relate to it. I don't understand it. But I'm saying I do understand why The Color Purple had to be told the way that it was.
Wow.
I do understand that. Bill says I didn't have white friends for weeks after watching Roots growing up.
It was difficult in America. Corporate America was difficult, you know, after Roots and during time of Roots. The relations at jobs were difficult after that. Schools was difficult, you know, because they had to talk about it. You could not talk about it.
Yeah, in school. Yeah, school definitely. Stephanie says Celie became an entrepreneur sewing pants. Those one-size-fits-all pants that she made to fit Oprah Winfrey and what's his name, dude? Her husband, Harpo. Oprah and Harpo. Come on now.
I saw it one time, and I remember scenes from that movie, you know. I mean, everything you do, and all my life, I had to fight. Harpo, who this woman? Come on, I've seen it once. And the church scene, God is trying to tell you something. I remember that movie.
Amen. Belinda said, watching my mom getting beat down, I went through it one time. No more of getting beat by a man or a woman. I stand my ground now. Amen. Jacqueline said, I was very mindful of what my children watched. Took them to see Who Framed Roger Rabbit. And when Jessica Rabbit showed up with all that body, large and in charge, I said, let's go. Everybody up. And when I turned around, half of the audience was following me, and we all got our money back. I understand it.
Let me say
but
something.
I love Jessica Rabbit.
Well, I'm with you on that. There's so many cartoons that we thought were good.
Yeah.
There was this Madagascar. Okay. I thought that'd be pretty cool. Madagascar would be cool. And they show a couple fooling around in the bushes, giggling and fooling around. What are they doing back there? So the kids are watching this scene. They did not need that in that kid's movie. Okay.
Yeah, I agree. And so that's what happens a lot of the times. I think they're doing it more and more now, especially with writing the movie on the level of both the parents and the children, because they are knowing that these children could not get to the movies at the time by themselves. So they wanted to entertain the parents while they were
whatever. I understand the point. Whatever.
Right.
Let's go, everybody. And we all got our money back.
Amen.
Okay. He's looking at Jessica Rabbit with lust in his eyes, and she sashay. Don't blame me. I was drawn this way. Whatever. Okay. That didn't have to be like that.
It absolutely. They drew her. They drew her. Yes, they did. And let's go could be the right answer. But that's what I was actually saying now about the fact that it's not as much control anymore. Because my grandson has a phone that they don't monitor, and he knows how to select. He has his channels. I think in YouTube Kids they have them or whatever. But I think some of those are even risque.
Jacqueline says Lisa loved her too, but my young children, they were already too special.
Amen.
Yeah, man. These things shape us. We're already at 9:48. We haven't done greeting songs or greeting logos. We only got a few minutes, but I think it's worth doing. Okay. But thank you guys. You guys really, really showed up and showed out today.
We love it, love it, love it. Hey, Couture, you was the first one up, my sister. I'm going to finish your water. I still got to talk to, what's that lady's name? Not Dorcine. Dorcia
Hart. Couture Green, she has a greeting song. Back to life, back to Couture Green.
However do you want it?
However do you need it?
Do you need
What we're doing is we're thanking our consistent contributors to the show with greeting songs and greeting logos. Dr. Deborah Dunstan also has a greeting song.
Dr. Deborah! nonprofit strategist and funding coach.
Scroll. Because I gotta go. I have a 10 o'clock appointment.
I'm so very sorry. Dr. Beverly is here.
Dr. Beverly has a logo. Dr. Beverly is on the show. Good morning, Dr. Beverly. Sister Jacqueline has, according to Jacqueline, and she also has a song.
Jacqueline Rosier, pretty little girl that I adore. You're the only one my heart beats for. I'm so glad that you are mine.
Good morning, my sister Jacqueline Rosier. Scroll, baby.
Mia, thank you so much for being so active in the post. We're going to have to get a song for you,
Dr. Beverly, we still got to find you a song. Did we miss one?
From George.
No. Okay, we did it. Dr. Beverly, did we do that?
Yes, honey. I was scrolling intensely and conscientiously.
Mr. George Allen, a.k.a. Chef Rev, he has a jam as well. Why must I eat like that? Why not hire Chef Rev?
It was a good food in May.
Not. Good morning, sir. How you doing? Stephanie Morris has a song as well. Miss Phyllis has a logo. Stephanie Morris's song is Stephanie. Life has new meaning to me.
There's beauty up above.
And things we never take notice of. You wake up and Stephanie, you're in love. Miss Phyllis has a logo. Miss Phyllis is here. Now clear the way. Miss Phyllis is here. Now we can all have a great day.
Absolutely.
And you can get, if you like these songs, you think that's fun, you can get one too. Just hang out with us regularly, contribute to the show, and help us find a song that speaks to you and your spirit.
Scroll. I am scroll, and I gotta read while I scroll.
William Brown has a song as well. Good morning to our friend Bill. Nobody thinks like him still. We love him so, and we always will. Our friend Bill. Good morning to our friend Bill.
Good morning. Mark Greer is in
Mark Greer's in the house too. Mark Greer has a jam as well. Goes, so wide you can't get around it.
So low you can't get under it.
So high you can't get over it. Mark Greer is under a groove. He's getting down just for the funk of it. Mark Greer is under a groove. Nothing can stop us now. Good morning, Mark Greer. How you doing? Thank you all for your contributions.
Absolutely. Mia, thank you so much for joining. She says that was awesome. I loved it. Brought back memories. Dr. Deborah, you're going to be live today here in the V-Team group, networking for business owners everywhere.
That sounds beautiful.
At 2:00. Thank you. I'm looking forward to it.
I got to go. Have a good day.
And amen. Oh, amen. Thank you, Belinda. She said, I'm going to text y'all my song. It's Who I Am Today. Hollywood. Sing it. We love it. I love it. We hope you have an amazing day.